The House of Al Said, Sultanate of Muscat and Oman and the Sultanate of Zanzibar, founded by Ahmad bin Said al-Basaidi, at the time, ruler of Oman and its East African territories. The dynasty of al-Basaid traces its roots to the tribe of Zaran through a patrilineal ancestor, al-Atiq b. al-Asad b. Imran, who settled in Dibba. Hence the band was also known as the Azd of Daba. Like other Qatni, the Azd originally hailed from Yemen and migrated north after the destruction of the Marib Dam. With the rise of Islam, the Azd established themselves into a leading force in the ensuing Muslim conquests and later in the realms of the Umayyad Caliphate through the celebrated General al-Muhallab ibn Abi Safra, the progenitor of the al-Basaid tribe. Significantly, it is with the Azd that most early sections of pre-Islamic Universal Chronicles of Arabs begin. Ahmad bin Said al-Basaidi, a shrewd military tactician, was the governor of Sohar when a Persian fleet attacked the town. He held out for 9 months, finally forcing the Persian commander of Nader Shah's army to come to terms and leave the country. Altogether within a few years, he was elected Imam in 1744, marking the last time Oman was occupied by foreign parties and the beginning of a new unified state. It was also the start of a dynasty that has lasted to the present day, making it one of the oldest surviving royal dynasties in Arabia and the first to gain independence. His descendants did not take the religious title of Imam, but Sayyid, an honorific title held by members of the royal family to this day, thus relinquishing all pretense of spiritual authority while fostering Muslim scholars and promoting Islamic scholarship. Trade flourished during Ahmad's 39-year reign and the Omani navy developed into a formidable force in the Indian Ocean second only to Great Britain and capable of purging Persians' forces from the entire region and protecting Ottoman vessels in the Gulf of Oman, Indian Ocean and the pirate coast of Trucial Oman. When he died in 1778, the ulema replaced Ahmad with his son, Said bin Ahmad, who was very religious but shrank from administrative duties. Since the tenets of Abadism allowed for the division of duties between leaders along religious, administrative and military lines, he removed himself to Rustak until his death in 1811. His son Hamad bin Said moved the capital from the interior city of Rustak to the coastal Muscat in 1783 and took the title of Sultan, implying purely coercive power. He was a capable leader for 8 years and facilitated reform policy in the initial stages of the transition but died suddenly in 1792 of smallpox. Sultan bin Ahmad assumed control of the government after the death of his nephew and strengthened the already powerful fleet by adding numerous gunships and sleek cargo vessels. He also needed a strong ally to help him regain control of Mombasa from the Mazdi clan, fight off the movement spreading from what is now Saudi Arabia and to keep the Qasimi tribes from the Persian city of Lingge out of Oman. He found this able ally in Great Britain, who by this time was a powerful maritime nation with an empire expanding all over the world. In the late 18th century, the Second British Empire was at war with France and knew that the French Emperor, Napoleon Bonaparte, was planning to march through Persia and capture Muscat on his way to invade India. In 1798 Britain and Oman agreed a treaty of commerce and navigation. Sultan bin Ahmad pledged himself to British interests in India, and his territories became out of bounds to the French. He allowed the British East India Company to establish the first trading station in the Persian Gulf, and a British consul was posted to Muscat. As well as defeating Bonaparte, the British had another motive for the treaty with Oman. They wanted to put pressure on the Sultan to end slavery, which had been declared illegal in England in 1772. At this time, the trade from Africa to Oman was still buoyant, and Zanzibar's position as an important trade center was bolstered further when the supply of ivory from Mozambique to India collapsed because of excessive Portuguese export duties. The traders simply shipped their ivory through Zanzibar instead. Omani warships were in constant skirmishes up and down the Gulf, which kept the Sultan preoccupied. It was in the course of one of his sorties during an incursion aboard a ship in the Persian Gulf in 1804 that Sultan Said was shot in the head by a stray bullet. He was buried in Lingge. The death of Sultan bin Ahmad sent the country into a state of shock and inter-family rivalries. Dissident tribes and outside agitators who all conspired to make the role of supreme commander a speculative proposition at best. Sultan's eldest son said was merely 13, too young to take the reins of his country. So the elders called upon another nephew Badr bin Saif to act as regent in the boy's behalf until he came of age. The death sees